Okay, so like imagine a world, right, where we've got these crazy powerful AIs running around making huge decisions and absolutely no rules to keep them in check. Kind of scary, right?
Yeah, it's like the Wild West, but for algorithms, and the stakes are incredibly high.
Exactly. And that brings us to this whole California AI safety bill thing. This was a huge EE deal, potentially the first law of its kind in the U.S., and it just got completely shut down.
Vetoed, yeah.
Right, vetoed. The governor basically said it would kill innovation and send all the big tech companies packing.
Which, is a legitimate concern when you think about how much influence these companies have.
For sure. So what was actually in this bill that made it so controversial? Well, one of the main things was this idea of keeping a close eye on the development of what they were calling frontier models, which basically means,
The really, really powerful AI. The kind of AI that can do things humans can only dream of, and maybe some things we'd rather not imagine.
okay, yeah, the bill wanted these frontier models to go through mandatory safety testing.
Hmm.
So like before they're let loose on the world.
Kind of like putting them through their paces in a virtual sandbox, see if any red flags pop up. It's an interesting idea, trying to predict how AI will behave in the real world, with all its complexities.
And then there's the kill switch requirement, which
Yeah.
sounds kind of intense, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine trying to switch off an AI that's potentially more intelligent than any human? It's a bit of a head scratcher.
Was it even realistic, technologically speaking, or more of a like, hey, look, we're doing something kind of thing?
Hard to say, honestly. But it definitely got people talking, right? And I think it reflects a genuine fear, even if it's a bit premature, that we might end up creating something we can't control.
Right, right. And on top of all that, the bill wanted some kind of formal oversight for these frontier models, which, again, sounds good in theory, but
Yeah, the devil's in the details. What does that even look like? A government agency dedicated to AI, independent watchdogs? It's a tricky thing to pin down.
absolutely. And of course, not everyone was thrilled about this bill. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking about OpenAI, Google, Meta, these giants all saying it would stifle innovation and put them at a disadvantage globally.
And you can see their point, right? If you're a company pouring billions into developing cutting-edge AI, the last thing you want is a bunch of regulations slowing you down, especially if your competitors in other countries don't have those same constraints.
It's that classic tension between, like, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and making sure we don't accidentally create a monster in the process.
Exactly. And this isn't just a California thing, right? California often sets the tone for the whole country when it comes to tech. So where does the U.S. stand on AI regulation more broadly? Are we ahead of the curve, behind it?
Playing catch up.
Yeah, pretty much. Congress is definitely aware of the issue, but they're moving at a snail's pace compared to some other parts of the world. The European Union, for example, they're already putting some pretty strict AI regulations in place.
So with this veto, is the governor just saying, full speed ahead, let's just hope for the best? Or is there more to it?
Well, he did say he's planning to work with experts to develop safeguards for AI development, so that's something. The question is, how much can they really achieve without any actual legal teeth?
Right, is it could be all talk and no action.
It's possible, but hey, maybe this is the start of a more collaborative approach, right? Bringing together the best minds in tech and policy to figure out how to manage this incredibly powerful technology.
Fingers crossed. So for those of us who aren't like coding geniuses, what's the takeaway here? Why should we care about all this?
Well, because this isn't some abstract sci-fi problem anymore. AI is already all around us, shaping our world in ways we don't even realize. And this whole debate, this tension between innovation and safety, it's only going to become more important as AI gets more sophisticated. We all have a stake in figuring this out, not just the folks in Silicon Valley.